Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to another mindful movement session with Sukoon. Good morning to you if you are in the US and it's like 10 a.m. Good afternoon if you're like me and you're in London, you're in Europe, and it's closer to 3. I hope you are having a good weekend already. And today we're going to be going through a nice gentle hip opening sequence. So we're going to be focusing more on the lower body, hips, hamstrings, and just working into any sort of tight areas that we have in the lower body. Now, our hips are very complex parts of the body. They're a very, very big bone in your pelvis and lots of big muscles. And the front of your body is where you're going to encounter probably quite a lot of tightness, especially if you are someone who works at a desk or you're on your phone a lot, you do a lot of sitting, because this action of compressing these two parts of your body is just going to make this bit a little bit tighter. So a lot of the class today is going to be focused on lengthening this part, stretching out the front of the body. We have something in our bodies called fascia, and this is a connective tissue that basically brings all of our muscles and organs together. It lines all of it. One good way I've heard it described is like the white part of an orange. So when you peel the segments of an orange, all of that stringy white stuff that connects it all, we've got all of that. And it's in between our organs, it's in between our muscles. It's what keeps us moving freely. So when you move like this, all of your organs squidge. And one way that your fascia can get a little bit tighter is just by not moving. So doing these gentle stretches on a regular basis is just going to help keep things nice and open, keep things moving all freely, keep your breath a little bit freer, and it also helps emotionally as well. So let's get started. I want us to begin. I want you to place the soles of your feet together like this, knock the knees out to the side, and then we're going to come down onto our backs. So depending on how tight your hips feel in this position, you might be able to place some blankets or some pillows underneath your knees just to give you a bit more support. Or you can let gravity do its thing and just let your knees fall out to the side. You can place your hands next to you with your palms facing up, or you can place one hand on your stomach, one hand on your heart, and just start to close down the eyes for the first few minutes of the practice. Just noticing how your hips feel today. Me, for example, my right hip is feeling a lot tighter than my left hip, so I know I'm going to have to do some more work on that one today. Just taking the time to be aware of the sensations in your body. We're not labeling them as good or bad, we're not trying to change them, we're just noticing. Taking some nice deep breaths here, letting your body really connect to gravity, connect to the ground. And just start to turn inwards. Taking some nice deep breaths here. You might notice that your knees are falling a little bit closer to the ground the more we stay here. Or if you've got the cushions, you might notice that you're just feeling a little bit less tension in the hip joint. Good. And then bringing the knees together, bring your feet so that the soles of your feet are on the mat. Bring the knees in towards the body, and we're just going to start with some hip circles. So bringing your knees over to the left, pushing them away from you, and then bringing them back over towards the right. So exhaling to push them away, inhaling to bring them in. One more in this direction. And then reverse. The knees come in towards the left and then away towards the right. And then when you bring your knees in towards your chest next time, we're going to do circles by bringing the knees apart. So pull the knees in towards you, push them out, scoop them around away, and then back in together. So you're kind of creating this big circle with your knees. And really think about your knees versus your hips, because your hips, it might restrict your movement a little bit. If you think about drawing these big circles with your knees and then reversing the direction, really working into that hip joint. And then we're going to take a pose called Happy Baby. So this one, bring your arms in between your knees, grab the outer edges of the feet, and then we're going to pull the knees in towards the armpits. So flex your feet, push your heels up towards the ceiling, really grabbing onto the outer edges of the foot and pulling those knees down towards you. You can rock gently from side to side here, massaging the lower back slightly. And then dropping both feet to the mat again, we're going to take our reclined figure four. So placing both of your feet on the mat, taking the outer edge of the left foot onto the right thigh, and then bringing that right leg in towards the body. This might be enough for you. This might be enough of a stretch on the outer edge of the left leg, or you might need to just bring that leg in a little bit closer to feel that stretch. Make sure your left foot is completely flexed, your toes are pointing up to the sky. Then dropping that foot down to the mat. Just bring your left foot all the way over. You might just be hovering here slightly. You might be able to get it to the mat, but you're just going to feel a nice little twist across the torso here. Try and keep your shoulders on the mat. And then coming back to center, plant both feet. This time we'll take the right foot and place it on the left thigh, coming into your reclined pigeon or reclined figure four. Pulling that knee into the body. If you want even more of a stretch here, you can use the right hand to push the right knee away from you. It's really working into that hip joint. And then inhaling and exhaling to drop both knees to the ground. And then we're slowly going to come up onto our forearms, coming up to seated. Take your knees hip width distance apart, and we're just going to knock them from side to side. So dropping your right knee, your left knee to the mat, and then reversing the direction. Good. And then we're going to come up onto all fours now. So coming up onto your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips, and we're going to do a couple of rounds of cat-cow just to warm up the spine nicely. So inhaling to drop the stomach and lift your gaze up. Exhaling to round the spine, push the ground away from you, gaze down. Inhaling, gaze up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. And then when you bring your spine into a neutral position so it's flat, you're going to lift up the left leg. Now, this might be enough of a balance for you. You could also try and test your balance even more by lifting that right hand and straightening that out in front of you. So we're in this position called balancing table. Now, I really want you to pull up through your core, tuck your pelvis, create that nice long straight line. So if you're pulling your fingertips away and pointing your toes away, it's a nice long line. Deep breath here, then exhale to drop the hand. That left leg is going to come to the other side of the right foot, and you're going to push the heel down and then move your body weight forward. So we're kind of rocking back and forth on the tiptoes of that left foot. And then bringing it backwards, so it's just straight along the mat on the tiptoes. We'll do the same movement, so this is going to get a little bit more into your calf muscle here. Good, breathing deeply as we move. And then lifting that knee back up, we're going to do some big circles with that knee. So drawing a big circle in one direction as we breathe. And then reversing the direction. So bringing the knee in the other direction to draw those big circles. And then on your next exhale, take that left foot and we're going to bring it to the outer edge of the left hand. Sink your weight forward, bend that left knee, really glue it towards your left arm. And we're in our lizard pose here. To start with, I want you to tuck your back toes, lift that back leg. This is a bit of a challenge. And we're going to just rock back and forth. So really getting into that hip joint to start. And then dropping the knee, untucking the toe, really putting all of your weight into your right hand this time. Come onto the outer edge of the left foot and push that knee away from you. So really sink the right hip down to the mat here. And breathing as you let gravity do its thing. And then reach your left arm forward, really straightening that torso, and then sweep it back so fingertips come up to the ceiling and then they face the back of the room. So you're in this kind of twist whilst we're opening the hips. Inhale to straighten the arm forward, sweep it overhead. Exhale to send it back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And then inhale to bring the hand all the way back down to the mat. This time, squaring the hips, we're going to move the left foot all the way to the right edge of the mat. So shuffle it, as it might be a little bit clunky. As long as you can get that foot to the other side, it's fine. So the closer your heel is to your hip, the easier this one will be. You might need a blanket underneath here just to like ground you a little bit more. You might be a little bit wobbly and it might just give you a little bit more balance. So sinking down, making sure your hips are squared with the mat. If you're up like this, you're better off having something under that glute just to square you back up. So really sinking down here. First of all, just walking the hands next to the knee, lengthening the spine, inhale. And just noticing how this feels in your body. Really checking in with yourself here. And now if this feels comfortable for you, if this feels like something you could hold for a lot longer, we're going to walk the hands down. So coming onto the forearms or letting the forehead drop to the mat. And we're just going to take a few minutes here. These hip openers are quite confronting poses. This can be where a lot of emotion comes up for some people. And when we talk about emotions coming up in yoga poses, that's because of the fascia. So, as I was explaining earlier, this connective tissue that we have in our bodies, when we experience negative emotions or traumatic events, our bodies close up quite literally. So, you crunch yourself inwards, you don't expand open. So when we start to open these parts of the body that haven't been open for a long time because of a protective thing, it can bring up emotions for some people. So if you find pigeon very hard, like it's very intense and it's not giving you peace in any way, shape, or form, then just come out of it and find a position that doesn't feel as intense for you. If not, this is an excellent time to use your body, use your breath to remind yourself that you are safe. And on your next inhale, we're going to walk the hands back towards the body. And then putting all of your weight onto your left hip, swing that right leg around to the front. Now we're going to go into cow pose now. So for this one, your knees need to be stacked on top of each other, and I want both of your sit bones on the mat. So if they're not completely stacked, that's okay. I'd rather you have both sit bones glued down. If you can get your knees on top of each other, you can bring the feet closer into the body, or they can be further out, whichever is more comfortable for you, as long as you're feeling this on the outer edges of the hips. And just holding onto the feet here. Inhale to lengthen the spine. This might be enough for you. This might be quite intense. If you feel you need a little bit more of a stretch, you can exhale to bring your torso down to your thighs and fold. Inhaling up. And then exhaling to sweep your right leg back, plant your hands, and come back into your tabletop. So we're in this position that we were in earlier. And we're going to do the same on the other side now. So this time, your right leg is going to lift, point the toes to the back of the room. Left arm comes up if you have the stability. If not, this is more than enough. Really pulling up through the core, making sure all of your torso is engaged, your glutes are engaged, your leg is engaged. Maintaining that strength here, because this is the thing with flexibility. You have to have the stability, the strength to hold your body in these deeper poses. So the strength can't be ignored. And then dropping that left hand, you're going to take the right foot, place it on the outer edge of the left foot, and just pulse your body backwards and forwards. So really feel into that leg there. And then inhaling to bring the leg back into a straight line, and we'll do the same pulsing movement. Really feeling into the calf here. And then bringing that knee up and in, we're going to take some nice big hip circles. So one direction, and then reverse the direction. Good. And then taking that right foot, placing it on the outer edge of the right hand, connecting the right shoulder with the right knee, coming into our lizard. So first of all, tucking those toes, lifting the back leg and rocking back and forth nice and gently. And then exhaling to drop that back leg, come onto the outer edge of that foot, and then push the knee away with the right hand. Coming onto the outer edge might be enough as it is, and then you can just find a little bit more depth in that hip joint. Or you can push that leg away and really send that left hip further down to the mat. And then inhaling to lift that right arm, send it forward, point through the fingers, stretch the torso. Exhale to sweep your arm up, fingers come up to the sky, and then they point to the back of the room. Inhale to bring them forward. Exhale to point back. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Inhale to bring the arms all the way back through again. This time shuffling that left foot all the way over to the left side, sinking the hips down. Exact same here as we had last time. So if you're up, you're unbalanced, use that cushion, use a blanket, and find your stability. Inhaling to walk the hands back towards the body, straighten the spine. And again, this might be more than enough for you. You might feel a lot of intensity in this hip hamstring area, or you might feel like you can come down onto the forearms and sink the upper body down to the mat. Connecting to the breath. And this is an excellent opportunity for us to start turning inwards and using that inner voice, using that breath to remind you that everything is okay. We have a lot more control over our nervous systems than you would think. And one way we can do that is just by slowing down our exhales. So if you inhale for 2, then exhale for 4. Our bodies are physically unable to exhale for a longer period of time when we're in an unsafe situation. So by doing this, by slowing down the exhales, we're sending signals to our parasympathetic nervous system that everything is safe and we are okay. And when we start to utilize this in our yoga classes, we can start to utilize it in our work days. Then inhaling to come back up. And then coming onto that right hip joint, sweeping the left leg around into our cow face again. So knees stack on top of each other. That might be enough. The legs might be quite far apart. You might be able to bring the heels closer into the body. Finding your stability first, finding the length in your spine first. And then exhaling down to the mat. Inhaling up. And then straightening both legs out in front of you. I want you to bend your right knee and bring the foot behind you. So you're coming onto the top of that foot. The knee and the ankle need to be in line, so I don't want it at a dodgy angle. You might need to bring the knee out further just to protect it a little bit. If you've got a pulling on the knee, then don't bring as much of a bend into it. This might be enough, but we can also explore walking the hands a little bit further down the mat, coming into a little bit more of a fold. And then walking the hands back up, bringing that foot onto the inner edge of the thigh, and then letting the knee drop out to the side, squaring the hips to the front, inhaling to lengthen the spine, and exhaling to fold down. Inhaling to come back up, and we'll do the same on the other side. So extend the right leg, the left knee will bend, and the foot will tuck under, coming back towards the hips. This might be enough on your knee and on your hip, or you can start to fold the torso down over the right leg. Exhaling here. Inhaling to come back up. Bringing the left foot onto the inner edge of the right thigh. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Your hands can either be on the mat, they can grab the shin, they can grab the ankle or the foot, wherever is most comfortable for you. And then inhaling the torso up, crossing the legs over, coming into our comfortable seat. Bringing the hands onto the knees. You can either have the palms facing down, the palms facing up. Your hands can be in your lap, and just close down the eyes. Just take some last deep breaths in our seated position. Noticing if the body feels different now compared to the start of the practice. Thanking our bodies for everything it's done for us today. Thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us the ability to move our bodies in these ways. For sustaining us, for sustaining all of the things we need to keep us alive. And remembering that this body is a trust from Allah, and it is our responsibility to look after it the best we can. So taking the palms in front of you, rubbing them together, warming them up, and then placing them over your eyes. You can slowly start to open your eyes. And thank you so much for practicing with me this morning for the mindful movement session. Tomorrow you will have Naz at the same time, 10 a.m. or 3 p.m. depending on where you are, taking you through a similar kind of flow. And I will be back next week, and I will be here live next week, inshallah. So have a good week, everyone, and I will see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.